All right, let's step out of the climate-controlled corporate office for a minute and dive straight into the chaotic, high-stakes world of large-scale field installations. Because, let's be real, if you've ever wondered how utility companies actually manage to swap out thousands of smart meters across a massive city grid without everything falling apart, well, you are in the exact right place for this explainer. Managing field operations is challenging. That might literally be the understatement of the year. Sure, some jobs happen in a pristine, perfectly predictable office environment, but smart meter replacements? That work happens out there. It happens on dusty roads, in totally unpredictable weather, at thousands of different addresses spread all over the map. The physical reality of this work is, frankly, really messy. And for a very long time, the way we managed it was just as messy.
Okay, let's dive right into the old school way of doing things. For decades, the gold standard in the industry was paper. Someone goes out to a meter, does some really hard physical labor, and then grabs a clipboard to write it all down. But taking paper out into the field? It's basically a disaster waiting to happen. You're dealing with messy handwriting, numbers that get frantically crossed out and rewritten, rain completely smudging the ink, or forms literally just blowing away in the wind. When you're running a high-tech rollout of smart meters, relying on a piece of paper to track your data is just a massive vulnerability.
To really understand the pain we're talking about here, let's walk through the agonizing life cycle of a single paper form. Step 1. The technician writes the info down out in the field. Step 2. At the end of the day, or honestly, maybe the end of the week, those forms are physically driven back to the office and dumped into a massive pile on someone's desk. Step 3. Someone sits down, squints at the messy handwriting, and manually types all that data into a spreadsheet. And then we arrive at Step 4. Hope. You literally just have to hope that nothing was missed, misread, or lost in transit. It's a completely broken workflow.
And that brings us to a really crucial realization. It can be altered. You never really know what happened out there. This is the ultimate illusion of control. Management looks at a beautifully formatted spreadsheet and feels like they know exactly what's going on. But if a hand quietly changed a number on a paper format on a dusty road 3 days ago, how would you ever know? When you're sitting at a desk sorting through piles of paper, you are operating completely in the dark.
When you're managing just one small team, yeah, maybe you can keep track of things in your head. But what happens when you scale up? You don't just have one team, you have 10 teams. You have 100 technicians out in the field. Suddenly, these basic questions become an absolute nightmare. Who went where? Who actually did what? Who cut corners? If you're relying on paper and spreadsheets, you just cannot confidently answer a single one of these questions. The frustration builds, the errors start compounding, and the whole system just starts buckling under its own weight.
Which is exactly why the industry absolutely had to evolve. Enter pieBench. Now, this isn't just another generic task manager you download off the App Store, it's a purpose-built electric field operation system. It's specifically designed for smart metering workflows. Things like installs, consumer indexing to map out customer details, and new connections. It's a dynamic, real-time platform built from the ground up to completely replace the chaos of paper with absolute clarity and control. This shift is like night and day. On one side, we have the broken past, the lost data, the blind spots, the endless manual data entry, and that really dreadful feeling of just hoping the job got done right. But on the other side, the pieBench reality. We're moving from a world of guessing to a world of synchronized, real-time proof. Every action is tracked, every installation is verified, and the office sees exactly what the field sees, the very moment it happens.
Now here's a number that might actually surprise you. 0. That giant 0 represents exactly how much cellular signal a technician needs to keep working using the pieBench Scout app. Just let that sink in for a second.
Let's expand on that because it's a huge deal. Dead zones are just a reality of the job, right? Technicians go into deep basements, super rural areas, or dense urban blocks where the signal just totally drops. With older digital tools, a lost signal meant work stopped. Or worse, data got lost into the void. But pieBench works fully offline. Every install, every barcode scan, every photo captured is saved locally on the device. Your teams just keep working without a single hitch, and the second their phone catches a signal again, everything syncs up instantly. No dead zones, no lost data. What I really love about this platform is the deep empathy in the design. It is built for the actual reality of the field, not the air-conditioned comfort of the office. The app is designed so it can be used by someone wearing thick work gloves. The interface uses high contrast, so you can actually read it when the sun is glaring down on you. You don't need some $1,000 flagship smartphone either. It runs super smoothly on cheap, low-end Androids. Technicians can use voice input or barcode scanners instead of awkwardly typing, and supervisors, they can dispatch or float work orders to their crew right on the go. It literally captures work the way the field naturally operates.
Okay, so let's circle back to how pieBench completely eliminates that burning question of who cut corners. They've implemented a system called Trust, and accountability is basically hardwired directly into the app. When a tech clocks in, the system requires selfie-verified attendance. It uses stationary agent detection, so if someone claims to be walking a route but their phone hasn't moved an inch, the system immediately flags it. It runs continuous GPS accuracy checks and uses a strict 7-role access control system, ensuring only the exact right people can see or edit any data. Management isn't just hoping anymore. They have absolute, verifiable proof of every single action taken in the field.
Now, you might be thinking, wow, this sounds incredibly complex to set up. Actually, scratch that, it's the exact opposite. pieBench boasts totally zero-friction onboarding. We are talking 10-minute integrations here. Through a brilliant feature called Connectorly, it links right up to virtually any billing or head-end system. You know, the central hub of your smart meter network, using standard REST, OAuth, or SQL. And it uses AI-assisted field mapping, which means you don't need to hire expensive consultants or build clunky middleware. It's entirely no code. You literally just drag and drop to build whatever field form you need. Text, GPS, cameras, signatures, and bam, it's instantly deployed to the field. No developers required whatsoever.
So, when you step back and look at it, pieBench basically acts as the ultimate bridge between two very different worlds. For the technician out on the field, it's a super helpful guide. They open their phone, they see a map pin showing them exactly where to go, they follow the navigation arrow, and they fill out a clean, simple form. Easy. But for the directors sitting back in the office, it's a full-on command center. They aren't waiting around for paper to come back on a Friday afternoon. They are watching progress bars fill up and job pins turn green across a digital map in absolute real time.
And because all of this rich data is flowing instantly, it transforms those raw metrics into genuinely actionable performance insights. pieBench features real-time leaderboards. This means everyone, from the top supervisor all the way down to the newest field agent, can see exactly who worked, how much they worked, and critically, how well they worked. It kind of gamifies the whole process and naturally highlights the best people in the business. Everyone stays in perfect sync, operating from the exact same single source of truth.
Now let's talk about the frictionless scaling path, because whether you are a tiny 2-person subcontractor or a massive regional utility, this platform actually fits. You can start completely free to just kick the tires. You don't even need a credit card. Then, as your crew gets bigger, you can easily jump to the starter plan for growing crews and all the way up to the pro plan, which unlocks things like auto approvals and complex workflows. And of course, if you need it, there's a fully custom enterprise tier with unlimited everything, dedicated instances, the whole shebang. It just seamlessly grows right alongside you.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought for today's explainer. Take a hard look at your current operations. If you are still relying on paper, spreadsheets, and manual data entry, you only think you know what happens out there in the field. When a platform exists that can go live in days, not months, and completely replaces blind hope with real-time, offline-capable, totally verifiable proof, can you really afford not to modernize?